Welcome back to another trade journal entry. Today is August 28th, 2025. It is currently Thursday and we did New York session, of course. We are on our 19th trade out of 100 and we have 81 remaining. Today's result was one win with two contracts, resulting in a P&L of $188, which I simulated long on NASDAQ. Let's get right into it and let's explain a little bit of what went down. But today was a crazy trading session. Wow, honestly, for at least micro E-mini on Nasdaq and S&P, I don't know how it went with the big boys on E-mini, Nasdaq and S&P, but for me, it was just insane. So today's bias was bullish. Bias formed after New York Open liquidity grab and fake out. Despite downside structure break, I recognized the move down as a manipulation and stuck with the original bullish read. So what that means is there was during New York Open, like right at New York Open, we had a massive engulfing bullish candle that broke structure to the upside. Like it was just insane. I took that as a liquidity grab, but I also use that as confluence as well for basically my step 4 validation for continuation. And all I was really looking for was entry continuation or validation at this point. I was just looking for entry confirmation. But right after that candle, price action just continued moving downwards. And not only did I take that initial move up as a liquidity grab, but I didn't realize that the move down was a fake out until like last second. I thought my bias had flipped and everything. And I was literally looking for confluences to stack up on top of one another so I can get a bearish bias. And I did get a bearish bias, and I even got an entry confirmation. But what saved me was basically my hesitation. I wasn't sure on whether we were really bearish or not. Like, even though I got all the confluences to, say like, hey, we're definitely bearish. Oh, you can enter right now. We're bearish. The second I was procrastinating, like I literally had my button on the order entry, like for sell. I had my order entry ready. I was hovering over it. My index finger was literally on the left mouse button for clicking it. And I hesitated, mainly because I don't know, like it just didn't feel right. I was like, nah, we had a liquidity grab from the upside, clearly. And all of a sudden we're suddenly bearish. This could be a counter trend. This could be a fake out. This does not mean bias has flipped. It could be anything. I mean, price action has been consolidating the entire time that I have been watching since 5 a.m. So this literally could mean anything. So let's get right into it without making this video too long, but I already know this is going to be at least a 30-minute video. So this is what you're looking at. Crazy. Let's hop over to the 5-minute time frame. And the reason, wow, where am I? As usual, the computer's freaking out, but I have these placements here for a reason, and I'll get into that later, but I'm gonna go ahead and just remove it so I can see better, but I'm gonna leave that. Anyway, so as you can see, green circle as always is, where I took note as where key level tap is. So 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., and then 6:30 a.m. So let's get into it. 5 a.m., as you can see, we got this move down. Nothing crazy. We were into this inverse fair value gap and this bullish fair value gap. We got a reaction off of that, and we moved up. But during this move up as well, it was also because of news influence. So, yeah. We basically tapped this 4-hour bearish fair value gap from, 4-hour time zone or time frame. So I kind of took that as confluence, really, not really. It was just kind of up to me at that point to whether I want to take it as confluence or not for step 2 verification or, validation, I guess. But I kind of just took to note for that. We also had this bullish fair value gap that formed. So I took note of that. And then we consolidated for a bit on the 5-minute time frame before we did this at 6:30 a.m. And I don't know if it was whether news or not. I didn't really check. So, but we had this move up, and you can see we went past two 4-hour key levels and then wicked into the third 4-hour key level. And these are highs. And then afterwards, as you can see, price action literally moved down. So that's what I mean by a liquidity grab to the upside and then a fake out after New York Open to the downside, and then all this and that. So let's get right into it and hop over to the 1 minute time frame. And I'm just going to explain, or I'm just going to read down my trade journal entry and hope I can really make sense here. But let's get into it. So I read my bias. Setup: New York Open liquidity grab followed by a fake out to the downside. Bullish continuation confirmed through multiple confluences. Break a structure to the upside. Bullish fair value gap and rejection of 4-hour key levels. So as you can see, we have all of that here. We have a break a structure to the upside. Almost, actually, almost. It would have to break structure here, but that's what I waited for. We had a bullish fair value gap here that got filled, but I took that as confluence. This is where I stopped around here before I took my entry for short. I had a bearish fair value gap here, here, and then there was multiple here, but it was like more in the back. So I didn't take that trade, thank God. As you can see, we consolidated, and I was kind of skeptical here. I was like, maybe I made a mistake here, and I might have a misentry. But I was like, nah, it wouldn't make sense. It literally would not make sense. We have a liquidity grab to the upside on New York Open. After New York Open, we suddenly moved down after basically confirming, bullish direction. I didn't get a bullish entry. I never said that. We just have a bullish confirmation of direction. That's basically it. I was on step 4 around here of my strategy and setups. And then also we moved down. I was like, okay, I guess. And as you can see, I didn't have any other confluences within this area of consolidation that would give me a bullish entry for, just validation. Like, hey, we can enter around here. Thank God. Anyway, we moved down, tapped this 1-hour key level low, and then we move back up. And then we form a bullish fair value gap within this gap right here of imbalance. And then we consolidate on this 4-hour key level low, or basically high. Consolidate, 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 all this and that. And then we basically move into not only, the bearish fair value gap here, 2 of them actually, but also the bullish fair value gap. So what does that even mean? Well, from my prior experience, from all this, from my past trades, this tells me that it's not only going to move up, but also try to fill this gap, which it did, as you can see. The gap would literally begin here and here. And if I extend this, boom, we close it, inverse it basically, move into it, boom, and then we move off of it, forming this bullish fair value gap. Okay, and then there's one in this gap too, and then we move up, and the break of structure just keeps going. And all we had to do was break structure from these points at this point, to confirm that we're going bullish. But I already had confirmation here, here, and here. So we formed this as well. So now I have 3 confluences stacked on top of each other that are telling me it's bullish, but also a break of structure, so that's 4. A rejection of a 4-hour key level high, or not really a rejection, but I don't know. We consolidate and kind of like just move up from it, but whatever. But you know what I mean. So I took my entry after I saw an inverse fair value gap was getting retraced into, which is here. And I'm going to explain the rest of the part now, since we're at the point where I got to my entry. So setup: New York Open liquidity graph followed by a fake out to the downside. Bullish continuation confirmed through multiple confluences. Breaker structure to the upside. Bullish fair value gap and a rejection of 4-hour key levels. Right. My entry. What do I mean by simulated? Well, simulated long entry here, right? And I did my stop loss. I did my TP and all that. So what does it mean by simulated? I was at work today during this entire time, from all the way back there, 5 a.m., all the way till here. When I took my supposed entry, I was on my phone. I had already left work, the building itself, I was already in my car, and it was around this area when I was in my car, and I was watching just for a bit. I was like, maybe I'm done for the day. It's already 7:40. Well, it was 7:50. I have delayed data, but I was like, we might be done for the day, man. We have 10 minutes left. I might as well just go home. Who cares? No entry. It's fine. Didn't find a reasonable execution. It's whatever. I'm already looking for reasons on why I couldn't find an entry today, despite the fact I had a bullish bias. But I was on the phone and I had basically all these confluences line up and a break structure to the upside. And I was like, damn, how do I enter on this phone? I don't know how to do a limit order on my phone for TradingView. I couldn't figure out how. I know these buttons are buy market buttons and sell market buttons. I don't want to do that because slippage could happen. I could buy and I could be all the way up over here. I don't know. So I didn't want to risk it. So I used the long position tool to basically just mask out where I was planning to go, expecting price to go. This shouldn't be really up there. It should be up right here. Oh yeah, it was. Okay, good. Anyway, I placed my TP here. I could have placed it above this wick or at this 4-hour candle, which as you can see, it didn't even tap, which I knew it wasn't going to do that. I placed it on this candle right here where it closed. So on this bullish candle, I placed where it closed and I just left it be. I placed my stop loss under this fair value gap because if it was going to retrace into here on the third candle or fourth candle or whatever, it would retrace. And if it retraces deep, then that's on me, max drawdown. I want to prevent that. So I put my stop loss here to avoid that. But if it did retrace and it didn't go too deep and just around here at least, or here, whatever, just didn't go anywhere near my stop loss, then it would go back up. It didn't even do either. It didn't even retrace. It just started going up. Now, by the time I placed this long position tool, we were on this candle, but it wasn't formed all the way like you see. It wasn't like this. I had already placed it around here for this candle, and I just basically turned off my phone and started driving. It was like a 35-minute drive. Traffic was crazy. I took the back roads. Oregon traffic freeway. Dude, don't even look it up. We have the most incompetent drivers on the planet. Do not worry about India. Worry about Oregon. Anyway, so that's what I mean by simulated. I didn't actually enter to, actually get anything in. But I did simulate it the best I can. I placed this and that's it. And I just went on about my day. And I know it's kind of like, did you really do that? It could be, it's not for you. It's for me. At the end of the day, I could care less. I honestly could care less what anyone says or has to say oh, this could be a lie. You just did it right now. I could literally show you a screenshot. I screenshotted it on my phone, on my work phone before I left. And I just went on about my day. It was around here when I took that screenshot because I was halfway home at this point. Just in case, some BS. But I think I would have to send that to Discord or something or email it to myself. But I mean, it's already 9:30, dude. So if you guys don't believe me, I don't care. This is for me at the end of the day, man. So it's a simulated. So as you can see, it says close P&L 46.75. That means I would have won $46.75. That's incorrect. I did 2 entries. That doesn't make sense. As you saw earlier, it was $188. So yeah. So I had placed this thing where I go, hello, can this go off? Okay. Where I do this and I take this and it's lagging like crazy. I'm sorry. I have a really shitty laptop. Please bear with me. I do this. Damn, why is it so laggy? I do this basically. So I basically would have won $188 today for P&L. I don't know why the long position tool doesn't do that. I mean, look, quantity 0.556, bro. Come on. I did 2 units. What? Anyway, so today's P&L was $188. I'm going to take that. I don't care. That's what it should have been, and that's what it's going to be. So, yeah. Anyway, what I did well today, stay disciplined. and avoided taking the early short setup that would have been a losing trade. That was really good. When I realized, where's my mouse? When I realized this happened right here, when we were consolidating and then we moved down and then moved back up and we consolidated and all that, I was really glad I was hesitant and I recognized the liquidity grab on New York Open and the fake out afterwards. That was amazing. Dude, I was so proud of myself. You don't understand. Oh my God, I couldn't believe that. That would have been an L for not being patient and not trusting my strategy and my bias. That would have been a very bad lesson because that would have said I'm not consistent, I'm not disciplined, and I'm not aware. And that's the bad part. I'm not aware. Because if I can't spot things like this and not be aware, then the past trades I've been winning for the past 3 weeks or 4 now means nothing. So I'm glad I recognized this and I hesitated before committing to a short entry and recognized that, hey, let's be disciplined. Let's stick to our bias, stick to our setup and our strategy. If we don't get an entry, execution possible or whatever for our, our long position, then it's okay. We just didn't find an execution point for entry. But if we do, then we do. There's no reason to take a short if our bias has formed bullish from 5 a.m. all the way to 6:30 a.m. and then so on and so forth, whatever. So anyway, stay disciplined and avoided taking the early short setup that would have been a losing trade. I recognized the liquidity grab and a fake out sequence and held bullish bias correctly. Maintained patience during long consolidation. An hour plus of consolidation, by the way. No joke. From here all the way to here. And a little bit of consolidation here, as you can see. So, waited for multiple confluences before committing to a simulated entry. I could have taken my trade the second I saw this turn into a bullish inverse fair value gap. But I did not. Why? I would so much rather be safe than sorry. I need my entry confirmation. And even though I got my entry confirmation multiple times from breaking structure to the upside, right? Inverse fair value gap, all this and that, over here as well. I could have been entering the whole time, even down here if I wanted to. If I was that smart, but I'm not. But the point is, I could have entered around here, whatever. I stuck to my discipline. I stuck to my setup and my strategy, and I wanted extra confirmation. Either way, this is still a win. $188 is $1,880 on an E-mini index. That is a win to me. $1,000 in a day. Same with yesterday. $1,460. Dude, I'm okay with that. Hell yeah. So, that's a win to me. Today's definitely a win. Bias was correct. Used my strategy correctly. Was patient with my setup. Committed to it, actually. Spotted the liquidity grab during New York Open and the fake out afterwards. I mean, how much better can this get? I'm actually so proud of myself right now, so I'm sorry if I sound like egotistical, but I'm just really proud of myself. This is crazy. Like, I was driving home, like, really hoping this would actually hit TP on my simulated entry, but hey, I was really anticipating we sweep these highs because it would not make sense to go all the way up here, consolidate in this area, break structure to what? Go where? Sweep this liquidity from this wick? This wick? No. I mean, we did that, and then we consolidated, as you can see. Got a retrace from this fair value gap. Boom. And we went back up, and then now, oh my God, what is this? And now we're just doing this. So, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. Welcome to Consolidation Thursday. But anyway, what I will improve, though, from taking this trade or this session is learn how to place limit orders on TradingView. For mobile, at least, on my phone. So I can execute even when I'm away from desktop. I'm not going to do no market order or stop order. I'm going to do limit order. Because what the hell? I mean, no, I'm not risking slippage for some entry, dude. You're tripping. But, hey, Anyway, I'm gonna try to figure that out, see if I can do it. If not, then it's whatever. I'll just continue doing these entries, these simulated entries. If it were a funded account, I promise you, I would have turned on my hotspot right away, and took my entry, because that's a funded account. And although I am treating this as a funded account, it wasn't necessary to pull out my laptop while I'm in the car of a parking lot at work and take this entry and all that and this and that. And it wasn't really in my head at the time, because again, this is a demo account. And although I am treating it as, sort of a funded account, and all that, just trying to be disciplined and like, hey, remember, this could be a funded account. I honestly would have swear to everything. I would have turned on my hotspot and I would have taken this trade. And I'm pretty sure on your phone, if you have a funded account from your firm, they have ways where you can take entries on your phone as well that are not market orders or stop orders, and they have limit orders. I think, I don't know, but hopefully they do, so that if this happens again, I can do that on a funded account and not miss a trade. But if I can't, and I'm gonna figure it out right away, but if I can't, then I'm just gonna pull out my laptop. So yeah, anyway, notes. Today was a strong test of patience and market awareness. I avoided being tricked by bearish signals and stuck to my bias. Execution was simulated due to platform limitations, but the process and analysis were correct. A win on discipline, patience, and awareness of price action manipulation. What is this? Sorry, somebody's pinging me at intercom. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. That was a pretty crazy trading session for me, at least. Man, oh yeah, and also I just couldn't spy any SMT during all this. I mean, just a little bit, as you can see, but I was really using S&P's like order flow for basically continuation on NASDAQ. So if S&P was doing this, as you can see, from this here, and then this there, I would basically note that on here, like, hey, S&P is moving down drastically, consolidating a bit, but as you can see, we have a big engulfing bearish candle. We have that on NASDAQ as well, but we're consolidating higher. That tells me that we're lagging. So that's what I was basically doing. And of course, I was using 3-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame, and 30-minute time frame to check for continuation of not only this downtrend, but also potentially my bullish bias, which I was using a lot in this area while I was on my phone in the car. So yeah, everything just kind of lined up together. I feel like I'm really getting the hang of this. So today's win feels pretty deserving, in my opinion. So yeah, let's get this out of here and call it a day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Today was Thursday, consolidation Thursday. Price action was completely ass, but hey, it's whatever. I still managed to make a trade. That would have been $1,880 on E-mini. Either way, $188 is still a win to me. We're up on the week. We're up on the month. No losses so far. We even avoided a loss, and we are learning from this. I'm also noticing that the only like flaw I have right now is kind of like mechanics, like platform limitations. Like, oh yeah, I also searched up like I promised. I searched up how TradingView mechanics work for their order entries. I could not find jack shit. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. I searched up so many times different ways. I used different search methods and different prompts to search up these videos on TradingView entry orders and how their mechanics work. And it was just all BS. Like, yeah, guys, this is a limit order. I know what a limit order is. Oh yeah, this is a stop order. Dude, I know what that is. Oh, this is a mark. Dude, shut up. This is how you set your TP. Okay, explain how TP works though. Explain how TradingView mechanics calculate your order getting filled when price action touches your TP. Does it need a candle to, you know, close above? Does it need candle closure above TP? Or does it need just a simple wick? Or does it need just price action to get in that area, you know, like on that specific TP line? How does stop loss work? You know, I'm just saying, like, I couldn't find a video like that, and it was just so upsetting. And I did some of my test runs, like, of course, I did some of my own test runs using the same account, and of course I reset it, but I did some of my own test runs, and I realized some things like the 10-minute delay data on TradingView has kind of a major playing part on how TP works and SL works on TradingView. So I'm not going to get into deep to it because this is going to be a 30-minute video like I already said, but basically when you enter an order on TradingView, that order, let's say you like today I went long, you know, if you actually entered long, right? I went long today, let's say I actually went long and not simulated it, whatever. If you enter long, that order will be real-time data. That order will be based off of real-time data. So if you take your TP and you set it 10 ticks away and price action is 15 ticks under it, dude, you don't know that because your entry is on real-time charts, on real-time data. But the chart view you're looking at is delayed. It's so obnoxious. Like, that's like saying, like, what I'm seeing on this screen right here on OBS, what I'm seeing right here is 10 minutes delayed, but the button stop recording and whatnot, pausing, is real time. That does not make sense. In my head, that does not make sense. You're telling me in real time, in real life, I'm at 9:45 a.m., but on the charts, I'm seeing 9:35 a.m. So that means if I enter long, it's 10 minutes delayed. So price in real-time data on the entry, price could have already wicked into my SL and I wouldn't have even known. I couldn't even have the chance to trail it because I'm 10 minutes behind. Now that is a great discovery. And also it's really it also really depends on like order entries and how you get in. I tested around with those two buttons you saw on the top left, the buy market and sell market. Volatility, volume. I mean, if volume is very high, which it is during New York session, it is not a good idea to buy market. It is not, especially as you know, day trading futures, especially with my strategy, my setups. It's not a good idea. I mean, charts are moving like crazy fast, and it's just a bad idea to even try to buy market or even buy a stop market or whatever, you know, or sell, whatever. It's just a bad idea. I mean, you could shoot up with slippage or shoot down with slippage, and you might be begging to God. So I'm not going to do that ever. Limit orders is kind of tricky as well. You really have to hope. I mean, you're using real-time data charts against 10-minute delay charts data trying to get in. I mean, you could try to, you know, do, let's say short, and then do ask, or yeah, you do sell. And then if you want to enter, you know, you have to do like, oh, I want to bid +2. That's how you would usually do it, I guess, you know, so that price can retrace into where you place your order. But that's on real time. You're looking at delayed data charts when you're entering on real time data charts. So it's kind of conflicting here. They're forcing you to basically, hey, if you want to take trades off of our, you know, app and, you know, demo and do basically my assessment, if you want to do an assessment, then you might want to spend $20 a month to do it. Yeah, it's $20 a month. That includes the essentials package, I think, and the CME package, which gives you the real-time data. Yep. Buying the essential package does not give you real-time data. Isn't that crazy? Only the CME package, not even the essentials. That's $16 a month. The CME is $5 a month. Wicked. Anyway, so I figured that out. I'm kind of glad I figured that out. Hopefully tomorrow, if we do find a way to take a trade and whatnot, and we get our execution, which we will. I'm pretty sure it's Friday, but tomorrow, hopefully I can test that out a little bit. I might mess around with it later today when I wake up. So Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's 30 minutes now, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.